tournament itself, what is it going to take for this team to go a long way?
What's it going to take? It's going to take pitching, defense, a little bit of offense. It's going to take good baseball. We got what it takes, but, you know, you can never tell what's going to happen. If I could predict the future, I'd be on my way to the track tonight. And I don't go to the track too often, so we just got to go out and play good. And we're capable of it, but you never know. You know, in other years we've had pitchers go down with injuries, and then you get into your pitching staff a little bit too soon, a little bit too deep in your pitching staff. It makes it tough. So as things go your way, you got to be good, you got to be lucky, and that's what we're hoping for.
Pitching. Pitching is something that you need depth. You need a lot of depth in a tournament. We play 6 games in about 7 days, so we're going to need guys to go twice. And the depth of the pitching is going to tell the tournament who wins it.
Dimension 36 Sports proudly presents the game of the week. Tonight, from Stella Terrell Field in South Weymouth, opening round action in the State Stem Mutual Baseball Tournament. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Ducharme. I'll call your play-by-play as the Weymouth Elks and the North Andover Cardinals get ready to meet in the opening game of the State Stem Mutual Tournament. The Weymouth Elks, winners of the South Shore Coastal League. The North Andover Cardinals, 4th place in the Northeast Conference, as North Andover won the toss. They will be the home team for this game, as they will pitch Bernie Conway for this game. Let's give you the lineup that Bernie will face. Jim Moriarty leads off in center field for Weymouth. Ray Bresnahan bats second place second. Billy Buchanan, the catcher, hits third. Mike Conville at first, bats fourth. Joe Clancy in right, fifth. Batting sixth will be Frank Niles at third base. Steve Moriarty, the designated hitter, bats seventh. Jack Hall, the shortstop, bats eighth. And batting ninth will be Mike Haney in left field. As we're about set to go, Jim Moriarty, the leadoff for the Weymouth Elks. Moriarty, during the regular season, led the Elks in hitting at .450 and had 12 homers and 38 RBIs. As he fouls off Conway's first pitch, as we're on the way, Conway 4-2 for North Andover during the season, as North Andover comes into this game 16-7-5. Moriarty reaches and hits it in the hole to short. Reese with a strong throw, but not in time, as Moriarty beats out the slow hit grounder in the hole. So Jimmy Moriarty on first. And coming to the plate will be Ray Bresnahan. Bresnahan hitting well as of late, as he's raised the average to .226, a homer and 12 RBIs. Moriarty, excellent speed, 16 stolen bases during the season, led the Elks in that department. In fact, he led the Elks in most offensive departments. Moriarty goes as the pitch is high to Bresnahan, and Jim Sullivan will not have a throw as he dropped the baseball, and Moriarty in scoring position, and Bresnahan with a 2-0 count. North Andover defense, Jim Sullivan behind the plate, Kamal Assar at first, Glenn McIntosh at second, Dick Reese at short, Rob Valentino at third, Jack Delaney in left, Bob Durso in center, Jim Norwood in right, and a wild pitch by Conway will push Moriarty to third, and Moriarty takes the turn but will hold there.
That was a buck, you know.
As Bernie Conway couldn't believe he threw that pitch as it put Moriarty on third. And a 3-0 count on Ray Bresnahan.
All right, got to have a good look
And already North Andover brings the infield in. Relax, sit back, pull up a chair, and watch some pretty good baseball action. The State Sam Musial Tournament as Ray Bresnahan walks on 4 pitches, and Bernie Conway has put himself in a hole immediately. Here in the top of the first is Billy Buchan to the plate. The Elks catcher hit .408 with 3 homers and 25 RBIs. Buchan led the team in triples with 5. He had 6 doubles. So Buchan with good extra base power of 40 hits. He had this year 14 for extra bases. Only Moriarty had a better percentage, 18 of 45, as Buchan chops when foul. We'll tell you more about the State Sam Musial Tournament as this broadcast evolves. As the Elks three years ago, the state Sam Musial champs, the Over the Hill Gang. They also went on to win the regionals and head out to Battle Creek in '84. They went to the final 3 teams. '85, they went 1-2 as Buchan strikes out and Bresnahan steals second as now Moriarty will come for the plate. And the Elks take a 1-0 lead as Moriarty was not going to go originally. But when the throw skipped away from Glenn McIntosh and Dick Reese couldn't find the baseball, Moriarty comes on the score and the Elks take a 1-0 lead. Heads-up base running by Jim Moriarty gives Weymouth a 1-0 lead. And Ray Bresnahan in scoring position and Mike Conville to the plate looking to add to the Elks inning. Conville at .325, 2 homers, 19 RBIs as Conway bluffs Bresnahan back. The Elks finishing up the regular season with an exciting come-from-behind 6-4 victory over Bridgewater. A 3-run 6th inning gave the Elks the victory as Conway almost throws it past Dick Reese as Reese made a good stop as Bresnahan is driven back to second. Pitch inside the Conville, 1-0 on Mike. Beautiful day for baseball, a slight breeze once in a while. Temperatures in the 80s for this opening round of the State Sam Musial Baseball Tournament. As Conville walks, and Joe Clancy to the plate. Clancy has been hot as of late. In the last game we brought you against Hingham, Clancy was about .370. He's raised the average to .425 with a homer and 22 RBIs. He led the Elks this year in doubles with 9. The 1 home run coming against Bridgewater in Bridgewater towards the latter part of the season as the Elks played Bridgewater twice within 12 days. Bridgewater in the State Sam Musial Tournament, runners-up in the Cranberry League. As Clancy hits it in the air to right field, and Jim Norwood doesn't have to move too far and puts it away. Bresnahan tags and will head to third. So Clancy flies to right fielder Jim Norwood. Ray Bresnahan moves to third on the play, and with 2 down, Bresnahan on third, Conville on first. Player coach Frank Niles to the plate. Niles at .344 with a homer and 17 RBIs. The Elks, an excellent hitting team. .338 they hit this year in the 28 games. In 28 games, they scored 208 runs. As Conway steps off and appeals Ray Bresnahan's tag up. But Ray had tagged up. 3 umpires for the State Stam Musial Tournament. As this is the first game, there'll be a doubleheader on this day we are taping, the Saturday, August 2nd. As Niles takes one inside. Conway with a quick move. Conville goes as Niles hits it in the air to shallow right field. It's going to be trouble at Norwood. Comes in and makes the catch, and the inning is over. As the Elks score a run, we head to the bottom of the first with the Elks leading 1-0. Bottom of the first inning for the Elks pitching will be right-hander Tom Thurberg, a power pitcher. Tell you more about Tommy's stats and that will show you why he's a power pitcher. The lineup that Tommy will face. Bob Durso leads off in center field. Jim Norwood bats second place right. Glenn McIntosh, the shortstop, will hit third. Bernie Conway pitching bats fourth. Dick Reese will be the shortstop. McIntosh at second base. Will Reese will bat fifth. Rob Valentino, the third baseman, hits sixth. Batting seventh will be Jack Delaney in left. Jim Sullivan, the catcher, hits eighth. And Kamal Assar will bat ninth and play first. As Bobby Durso steps in, he hits .320 as North Andover finished fourth in the Northeast Conference. And Durso takes high. I mentioned Tommy Thurberg's stats. And they are very impressive as Thurberg evens the count on Durso. Thurberg 7-1 this year. 2.29 earned run average. He struck out 73 batters in 51 innings as it's hit on Owen Hopp, and it skips by Jack Hall in the short left field, and Durso will be on. It was a tough play, and it'll be a base hit for Bobby Durso, as it was a hard shot that skidded by Jack Hall, and Durso is on. And right fielder Jim Norwood to the plate. Norwood hit .280. Key offensive figure in this North Andover lineup is going to be Glenn McIntosh, and he's on deck as the bunt laid down, and Niles will let it roll foul. As it would have been a tough play for Frank, and he wisely let it roll foul. 0-1 on Jim Norwood. Now, Thurberg's stats in the 51 innings, he allowed just 35 hits. And opponents batted against Tommy just 193. As Jack Hall on that shot was shaken up. And a couple of throws with Ray Bresnahan and Tom Thurberg to make sure he's okay. As an 0-1 count on Jimmy Norwood, who again bunts it. As it bounced up and came off his bat again. No balls and 2 strikes on the North Andover Cardinal right fielder. Elks getting a run in the top of the first as Moriarty on an infield hit stole second. Was wild pitch to third, and then when Ray Bresnahan walked, they pulled off the double steal as Buchan throws down as the pitch was high to Norwood. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Norwood. Thurberg just missing with a slider, and the count evens at 2-2. Two pitches just gotten a piece of by Norwood, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last year when we brought you State Stamp Mutual tournament action on Dimension 36, the Elks played Chelmsford up at Barney Field in Chelmsford, a game that the Elks lost a tough one, 8-4. As Thurber changes speeds and catches Norwood looking for his first strikeout. Tommy, during the year, as I mentioned, 73 strikeouts. He's walked just 23. A more than 3-to-1 ratio in strikeouts to walks, and that is something you want with your pitcher. As Glenn McIntosh to the plate. McIntosh, the most deadly hitter in this lineup. He hit .345 with 5 homers and 28 RBIs. As he led North Andover in all 3 of those categories. Little Louis Tiant motion as it's hit well to right center field, and Clancy and Moriarty will watch it as McIntosh hits his 6th home run of the year. Two-1 North Andover on the Glenn McIntosh home run for right field. And it was just a matter of how far out of the ballpark it was going to go as the Cardinals had jumped on Tommy Thurber for 2 runs here in the bottom of the 1st. McIntosh's 6th home run of the year has put North Andover in front as Bernie Conway, the pitcher, steps up. Conway at .340. As he tried to hold his swing as the Fairburg fastball rolled in on him, and he fouls it back. 1 ball and 1 strike on Bernie. Thurberg missing with a fastball, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1 on Conway as Tommy Thurberg looking to settle back down after the Glenn McIntosh homer. And he finds the inside corner, and the count is full. If you're wondering about why North Andover is the home team, as you watch Conway walk, there was a flip of the coin at the meeting in Waltham where the pairings were made, and North Andover won the flip and decided to be home team here at Stella Terrell as Tommy Thurberg has given up a single to Bob Durso here in the 1st inning. Struck out Jim Norwood. Glenn McIntosh reached him for a home run. Bernie Conway has walked in. Dick Reese, the shortstop, to the plate as Conway started and bluffs as Reese takes one on the inside corner, 0-1. Conway again bluffs, and Reese swings and misses. No balls and 2 strikes. Pitch out, and Buchanan throws it by Conville in the right field, and Conway will stop at second. A planned play, but Billy Buchanan's throw sailed by Mike Conville, and Bernie Conway in scoring position with 1 out and a 1-2 count on Dick Reese. 1-2 pitch is hit foul by Reese, out of play, and the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes on Reese. Reese started his collegiate baseball at Stetson University and transferred to the University of Florida. As he reaches for one and pokes it to right field, and Clancy shades back and makes the catch as Conway tags up and will go to third. Conway moves to third on Dick Reese's fly out to right and Rob Valentino to the plate. Valentino hit .320. Valentino takes one high and inside, 1-0. Thurberg evens the count against Valentino at a ball and a strike. 2 outs, Bernie Conway on third. North Andover with 2 runs here in the bottom of the first. Three and 1. Three-one pitch is low and outside, and Valentino walks the second one. Thurberg is allowed here in the first. Two outs, runners on first and third, and Jack Delaney will head to the plate. The North Andover left fielder hit .230 during the year. As the pitch flops out of Buchan's glove, Thurberg hustles it down, and the throw back to get Conway as Niles has it kicked out of his glove, and with all is said and done, Conway safe at third, and moving up to second is Valentino. As the attempted suicide squeeze by Jack Delaney, it popped out of Billy Buchan's mitt. Tom Thurberg hustled to the plate to pick it up. He turned around, he thought that Conway was coming, and then realized he wasn't, and threw to Niles and almost gut Conway heading back to third. An 0-1 count on Delaney. So a crazy set of circumstances, and all it netted was a stolen base for Rob Valentino. As they said, Delaney did not offer at the first pitch. So it's a 3-0 count, and Thurberg's within a pitch of walking the bases. Bases loaded as Tom Thurberg is a little bit wild as right now Frank Niles goes over to talk to him and try to settle him down. And the North Andover catcher, Jim Sullivan, to the plate with an opportunity to add to what has been already a 2-run first inning for North Andover. As the 8th batter of this inning for the Cardinals. Sullivan with an 0-1 count, as Sullivan hit .320 for the year. Thurberg looking to pitch out of a jam here in the first. And he's within a pitch of doing just that. 0-2 on Sullivan. Thurberg thought he had it and has a little smirk about it as the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch is hit in the right center field for a base hit as Conway scores, and Valentino will come in as well, and it is 4-1 North Andover as over to third goes Jack Delaney. North Andover coming up with 4 here in the bottom of the first off Tommy Thurberg on a single that brings in 2 by Jim Sullivan. As earlier in the inning, Glenn McIntosh had hit a 2-run homer. And Kamala Sarr to the plate. Sarr hit 295. Count evens as Sullivan bluffs on the play. 1 ball and 1 strike. As Mark Bresnahan is starting to get loose down the right field line for the Elks. 1-2. Thurberg walking 3 this inning, put himself in the hole, and Sullivan found the hole in right center field with a single that brought in 2 that pushed a 2-1 lead to a 4-1 lead. Two count. Two count is reached at, and Sarr hits it in the center field for a base hit. As scoring on the play will be Delaney to make it 5-1. Kamala Sarr just reached out and poked it in the center field for a base hit, in the 10th batter coming to the plate for North Andover. And Bobby Durso, who led off this inning with a single to left field, a ball that skidded off Jack Hall's glove.
Come on, BD.
So North Andover in their first State Sam Musial game as the Northeast League, a new addition to this Massachusetts State Sam Musial tournament, comes up with 5 runs in their first inning. Thurberg with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Pitch is a slow roller, hit the Hall, and he shuffles to Bresnahan to just get Kamala Sarr. 10 batters to the plate, 5 score for North Andover, and after 1, it is North Andover 5 and Weymouth 1. Bottom of the second, and the Elks have their work cut out for them as they'll send the 7, 8, 9 hitters to the plate. The Elks trailing 5-1. Steve Moriarty, as in the State Sam Musial tournament, the teams that do not make the playoffs from your league, you can draft from them a couple of players, and Steve Moriarty was picked up from the Canton Cubs. As first pitch from Bernie Conway was just inside. 1-0 on Steve. Good power. As Moriarty with a 2-0 count. And Conway changing speeds again on Moriarty. 3 balls and no strikes. The Elks' other pickup for the tournament was pitcher Ken Harding, also from Canton, as Steve Moriarty walks on 4 pitches. Now, it was a long first inning for Bernie Conway. He also had to run the bases. And temperature is in the 80s. And we'll see if Conway maybe lost a little. As Jack Hall comes to the plate. Hall hit .325, no homers, 11 RBIs. And Hall had 25 hits during the season. 24 were singles. The only extra base hit was a double. As Conway almost throwing it away. Moriarty just getting back. Hall takes one inside. Conway is having trouble here in the top of the second. The Elks without Mark Stenson at the moment, as Stenson with the stitches in his hand that have been removed. But it was a deep gash as Hall takes one on the inside corner. So it's a bat in the lineup that the Elks are missing that hit .361 with 3 homers and 17 RBIs and missed the last 2.5 weeks of the season as Hall pushes himself back from the Conway pitch. 3-1 on Jack Hall. .3-1 pitch is at the knees, and Hall felt he should have gone after it. As the count is full, and we'll see if Steve Moriarty will be running on the pitch. Moriarty doesn't go as Hall takes low, and Conway has walked the first 2 batters here in the second inning as Mike Haney will come to the plate. Haney at .310 with no homers and 10 and 2 RBIs. Haney fakes the bunt and takes 1-0 as the Elks looking to get themselves back in the game, down 5-1 as we're in the top of the second here at Stella Terrell Field. Change up as Moriarty goes and is in there, and Hall will steal second. The double steal, and it works perfectly for the Elks as Haney took low to make the count 2-0, and the Elks have runners in scoring position. Steve Moriarty on third and Jack Hall on second. As Conway throwing the changeup, a perfect pitch to steal on, and Jim Sullivan throw was to the bench side of third base. Two and one as count on Mike Haney. 2-1 pitch is skied out of play. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Haney hits one to right center field, and Durso will put it away as Moriarty will tag and come in standing up, and it's now 5-2. Hall held at second as Durso's throw came in the third, and it's now 5-2 on the sacrifice fly by Mike Haney. Top of the order, and Jim Moriarty will be coming to the plate. Moriarty reached on an infield hit in the first inning and came around the score as has the deck out of the way of a Bernie Conway pitch, 1-0. (5-2) if you just joined us, North Andover in the lead as Moriarty takes high, 2-0. On Moriarty as Conway has had a little bit of wildness here in the second inning, and it's produced an Elks run as the count runs to 3-1 as he's been behind all four hitters he has faced here in the second inning. And now they got Jack Hall picked off, but Hall outfoxes Russ Conway. As they were going to throw in behind, Jack Hall and Glenn McIntosh came in, and Hall immediately dashed for third as Conway went to second with the throw, and Hall ends up with a stolen base. So Hall on third with one out and a 3-1 count on Jim Moriarty, who will try to pick up Jack Hall. 3-2 as Conway with the changeup on the inside corner. Moriarty hits one foul, and it catches Jack Hall. As Jack shaken up. And Cardinal manager Paul Theberge comes over to check out on Jack. Moriarty hit a shot. So the count remaining 3 balls and 2 strikes on Jim Moriarty. (3-2) pitch, and Moriarty just getting a piece of it. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. As the ball will be dead as it hit Moriarty on ball 4, but it'll be ruled a hit by pitch. And Jim Moriarty is on. The second straight game that Moriarty's been hit. And manager Paul Theberge comes to the mound to talk to his pitcher, Bernie Conway. We'll take a break, 5-2, North Andover. And Paul Theberge made a switch as he takes out Bernie Conway and brings in shortstop Dick Reese. As Conway just goes an inning and a third. He walks 5, gives up 1 hit, strikes out 1. As he's responsible for the 2 base runners, Hall on third and on first base, and Jim Moriarty. As with 1 out, the Elks with a run in, looking for more as Ray Bresnahan, who walked his first time, and got around as far as third and was stranded there as Moriarty goes as the pitch is inside, and the throw down is through the glove of McIntosh, and Hall will come on the score, and it'll be 5-3 with Moriarty going over to third. On the play, a straight steal by Jim Moriarty. And the throw by Jim Sullivan was a good one, but Glenn McIntosh had it go off his glove into shallow right center, and Jack Hall skipped home with the Elks' 3rd run of the game, the 2nd this inning, and Moriarty on third with 1 out as Ray Bresnahan fouls the pitch off. So Bresnahan looking to pick up another run this inning for the Elks as they have climbed back into this game at 5-3. Two and 1 on Ray Bresnahan. second inning. And we've had a lot of action, and this game has gone a long way so far. It is a 9-inning affair, as it's a 3-1 count. We have gone 55 minutes into this game already. As Bresnahan walks, and that's the 6th walk allowed by North Andover pitching in an inning and a third as Billy Buchan comes to the plate. Buchan struck out as he went after a pitch trying to protect Ray Bresnahan, who was stealing on the pitch. Buchan. Looking to bring the Elks even more into this game as Bresnahan bluffs, and the ball skips off Sullivan's glove, and Bresnahan will be down at second on the pass ball. As the Elks base running really has been the story as far as their offense goes. They've only had 1 hit and have been able to produce 3 runs with possible runs 4 and 5 on third and second right now. As Buchan skies it in the air in foul territory, Sullivan gets a late start and can't hang on. As Buchan will get another life, as Sullivan lost sight of the ball and just was not sure where he was, as the sun is directly behind Jim. And when he tracked down the baseball, he had gone too far, and the ball bounced off the heel of his mitt, so Buchan with another life. As Reese thought he had that pitch, as the count goes to 1-2 on Billy Buchan. North Andover with the infield in. As Buchan lines it to center field, Durso goes back and is having trouble and can't get it. And it will score Moriarty and Bresnahan, and Buchan is rounding the bases, and Buchan's going to hold at third with a triple, and we are tied at 5. As Buchan hit one to the deepest part of Stella Terrell, Durso went way back, tried to flag down the baseball, and it skipped over his head and rolled to the cement walkway, and Bresnahan and Moriarty scored easily, and we're tied at 5. Unfortunately, with doing a baseball game with 20-minute tapes, we just pick up the action. Mike Conville hit a grounder to Kamala Sarr. Sarr came up throwing for the plate and nails Billy Buchan for the second Elks out of the inning as Sullivan blocked the plate nicely. And 2 down, Mike Conville on first. So with 2 down and Conville on first, Joe Clancy to the plate. Clancy fly to right. And first base umpire Nick Sabelli says that Clancy did not go around 1-0. Conville goes. Sullivan's throw is not in time. It goes in the shallow center field, and Conville will head for third. It's Durso's throw. Not in time. And the Elks are running crazy on Jim Sullivan and North Andover pitchers. It'll be a stolen base and an error. On Jim Sullivan, as Glenn McIntosh comes to talk to Paul Theberge about something. And we're going to take a break as the Elks are tied it here in the second. So Joe Clancy, an opportunity to put the Elks ahead, hits it in the air to right field, and Norwood puts it away as the Elks send 9 to the plate and score 4 runs with just 1 hit and a couple of North Andover errors. And after an inning and a half, we're tied at 5. And believe it or not, we're only in the bottom of the second inning. We have gone a long ways as far as time goes, and we've had a great deal of action. 5-5 if you just joined us on Dimension 36. I'm Mark Ducharme, calling you play-by-play as Jim Norwood leads off for North Andover and takes one on the inside corner, 0-1. As Norwood struck out his first time, as the count evens, as North Andover got 5 in the first inning, the Elks getting 1 in the first and 4 in the second. And the Elks really haven't hit the ball. It's been North Andover walks and stolen bases as that's hit in the air to center field. And one out as Moriarty puts it away. One down and Glenn McIntosh to the plate. And McIntosh drove in the first 2 runs to North Andover.
Go get him, Tommy.
McIntosh hit a 2-run homer, as in that first inning. Bob Durso singled, and after Norwood struck out, McIntosh hit a 2-run homer. McIntosh takes one inside. McIntosh, an excellent baseball player, a junior college All-American at North Essex Community College. Fastball by Thurberg hits the outside corner. McIntosh didn't think so. 2 balls and 1 strike on Glenn. And McIntosh didn't go, according to the base umpire. The count goes to 3-1. Tell you more about the tournament, as said, as this game goes along. As McIntosh hits it slowly, Conville shuffles to Thurberg, and 2 down. 20 teams in the State's Damn Usual tournament. And the Northeast League champions were the Seabrook, New Hampshire team. The Elks, the Coastal League. Brockton Tigers, the Budweiser Cranberry League champs. Natick, one of the other champions. And the 5th first place team was Chelmsford, who the Elks could possibly face if they win their first 2 games in Game 3 of the series, which will be played on the Sunday, the day after our taping. I'll give you some of the matchups as the Elks North Andover winner will play the Easton Lawrence winner here at Stella Terrell, with the loser heading over to Rockland Stadium to play the loser of the other game. Has a 2-1 count on Bernie Conway, who walked and came around the score on a single by Jimmy Sullivan. And Thurberg has had the pitch behind the hitters for most of his 1 2/3 innings so far. Hit on the line to right center field, and that's going to fall in for extra bases, as Conway will have a double as Moriarty hustles and gets the ball in. So with 2 outs, Bernie Conway doubles to right center, and Dick Reese will try to pick up Conway. As North Andover now with 5 hits, they're winning the battle of the hits, but the score is tied, and that's the important stat. And we'll get Thurberg in a lot of trouble in the first inning. Was falling behind. He walked 3 batters in that first inning. 2 of them came around the score. Thurberg behind on the count. 2 balls and no strikes to Dick Reese. Thurber changing speeds to get his first strike on Reese. 2-1. Three balls and one strike. Three-one pitch is hit on the line to right center field. Moriarty gives chase and will not get it, as Conway will come on the score, and Reese will have a stand-up double, and North Andover goes back out in front, 6-5. So with 2 outs, back-to-back doubles by Bernie Conway, and Dick Reese puts North Andover back in front. As a game of musical chairs with a lead, Tommy Thurberg has been behind the batters and has had to come up with his pitches, and it's cost him. As Rod Valentino walked, and he came around the score as he came in on a Jim Sullivan single first time. 1 ball and 1 strike on Valentino. Fastball at the knees, and Thurberg, one of the few times in the 2 innings so far that he has been ahead of a hitter. 1-2. 1-2 pitch is reached for and grounded to Bresnahan, who throws out Valentino, as back-to-back doubles by Conway and Reese gives North Andover another run, and they lead 6-5 after 2. Top of the 3rd inning, Frank Niles heading to the plate. You saw him in our pregame introductory remark about pitching. We also asked Frank about a quote I heard from Bob Wooster about the Cranberry League playoffs. You're not playing anybody better than you do in your league, and Frank answered it this way.
Well, I'm not sure that that's absolutely true. One thing I do know is in the past, we go into the tournament, it seems we play some out-of-town teams, and they've always had a tendency to show more respect for us than teams in our own league do. At least because the teams in our own league have faced us several times over the years, and whether we beat them or not, you know, they know us a little bit. They're not so much in awe. I mean, we've won a lot of state championships, so some out-of-town teams kind of cringe a little bit when we come walking in. But the teams we face all year, they just don't care. I mean, they're ready to play us now or then, so they're used to us.
As Niles, Steve Moriarty, and Jack Hall to face the second North Andover pitcher, Dick Reese, as Reese was greeted. And the 4 batters he faced, first 2, he walked Bresnahan, and Buchanan hit a triple off him. Then he got Conville to ground out and forced Buchanan at the plate, and got Joe Clancy to fly to right fielder Jim Norwood. Both North Andover pitchers have gone exclusively to the changeup so far. They've not been power pitches where Thurberg has been. Feeling is that keep a hard-hitting Elks team off balance, which is nice, but you have to put the ball over the plate, which has not been the case. The Elks have been disciplined to the point with that walk issued by Dick Reese. Is the 6th, check it, 7th walk given up by North Andover pitching, and they've also hit a batter, and the Elks have taken advantage of it. They have stolen 8 bases in this game. As Steve Moriarty, who walked his first time up, swings and misses. Moriarty also has a stolen base as well, as he stole 3rd as Bernie Conway was caught napping. As Reese steps off. Reese throws over. Moriarty, along with Harding and many of the Canton Cubs, were the main pickups by the Coastal League teams. Moriarty fouls one out of play. 0-2 on Steve. The Elks got one in the top of the first. North Andover came back with 5 in the bottom of the second. And then the Elks exploded for 4 in the top of the second, but back-to-back doubles by Bernie Conway and Dick Reese put North Andover back in front, and that's where we are in the third. As the pitch skips off Jim Sullivan's mitt, and Niles will head up to second base. As it looked like Reese and Sullivan crossed each other up. As Niles in scoring position with nobody out, and a 1-2 count on Steve Moriarty. Reese high with the changeup, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2, and North Andover has only 12 players listed for this game. And with the big 7 days and a lot of games, how much is it pitching? As Moriarty lines one in the left field for a base hit in front of Jack Delaney, and Delaney has trouble with the ball as Niles will score the tying run, and Moriarty will check in the second. A base hit for Steve Moriarty, and Jack Delaney misplays it, and it allows Frank Niles to score a single and an error, and we're tied at 6. So the Elks have come back to tie the game once again and have a chance to take the lead. 7 days and a lot of games. How much is it? And Jack Hall to the... And this could be a matter of who gets their pitching settled down. And that will decide the winner. As last 2 years, we brought you in the opening game Weymouth and Chelmsford. And they have been wild, strange games. As nobody there, as Moriarty is bluffed back by Reese. 2 years ago, we had the pitching duel at Kevin Greer. Outdueled Chelmsford's pitcher to win 3-1. As the Elks turned over 4 double plays that day to win that game. And the following year, up in Chelmsford, it was the Bill Maloney show as he picked off 3 Elks runners as Hall fouled 6-1 into Sullivan's mitt. 1 ball and 2 strikes, as this has been a shootout of North Andover's hitting versus the Elks all-around game. 6-6 here in the top of the third. And you remember before the game, the pre-game statements we had in our introductory tease, pitching decides the issue of who goes where in the State Stand Mutual. And right now, the pitching hasn't been there as Hall hits one in the hole in the left field for a base hit, and Steve Moriarty will hold at third as Jack Delaney's throw is strong to Jim Sullivan, and John Hall will move down to second. So the Elks are really just running literally at North Andover for their runs, while North Andover is teeing off on top. 6-6, no outs, top of the third. A lot of baseball to go here as the Elks look to retake the lead. As Mike Haney, who hit a sacrifice fly his first time, steps in. And watches one on the outside corner. As North Andover has the left side of the infield in and the right side back as it's hit, tracked by Conway as he